Hey everyone, it's Jeannie and I'm back to share two cards that I created using the Honeybee Stamps new release, the Hearts in Bloom stencil and the Love A2 cover plate. So I went into this card not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do, but I definitely wanted to use the Hearts in Bloom stencils for my background. The Hearts in Bloom stencil is actually made of 4 stencils and they layer on top of each other. They're also marked at the very top for each layer, but I'll be working backwards. It's marked from 1 to 4. I'm starting with 4, which are the leaves, and I'm going in and ink blending my colors. I'm using 2 different greens because I like to create a little bit of dimension. Go in with the lighter color and then go in again and ink blend some of the edges just with the darker green to create that depth. Then for my second layer, which is actually layer number 3, I decided that I wanted to mask off all the floral images, mainly because there's these decorative elements all around them and I was wanting to use blues for those, and then for the flowers I wanted pink and purple, and I didn't want it to ink blend the florals blue as well. But you can, there's just so many different possibilities with stencils, but for me I definitely wanted pink because I plan to use Lunar paste for my main hearts, and that's the reason why I'm going backwards, because the very first layer are the big hearts and that's something that I will have to wait and let dry. So I wanted to do all the other layers, use the paste, let it sit overnight, dry it, and then I can create my cards. For the florals, I did the same thing where I went in with one color, the pink, and then I'll ink blend with purple just to create a bit of dimension. And all these images are pretty small, so you can either use a very small blending brush, or I'm using the blending tool and it worked pretty well. You just have to be careful of where you are blending. For my last layer, there are the little innards of the flowers and I just masked them off after I ink blended them. I just used brown, and then I'm going to go in with my Lunar paste. For my 2 colors of the Lunar paste, I am using Sike and Prom Queen, and this is the first time I've actually tried to mix Lunar paste. I did make a bit of a mess. I mixed it so much that it became kind of like brownish, which wasn't what I was going for. These colors are vibrant and pretty, and I really wanted the hearts to contain part pink, part gold, and I think I just kept messing with it and mixing it that it just didn't turn out exactly how I wanted. And even so, you can fix it because I just got extra paste and then I was just a little bit more careful about not mixing everything so thoroughly. I don't learn my lesson the second time, but I learned my lesson the third time. Sometimes with new items, it's just trial and error, and it's just paper, so you can start over, but I wasn't starting over, and once I was happy with it, I pulled off the stencil. You definitely want to wash it immediately because it will dry and it will be so hard to get off. But I had all this extra paste, so I decided just to pull out a blank piece of cardstock and then use that paste all over. And I just added a little bit more because I wanted more of that pink, more of that gold in concentrated areas, and it kind of has like an abstract art vibe, which I really am liking, especially because I ended up using this panel for an eclipse card and you can see all the little marks of pink and gold throughout. I had let this sit overnight, and then the next day I started putting these cards together using the Love A2 cover plate. So I'll be cutting both of these panels using that die, and I'm using them in different ways. I'm just putting it over a dark cardstock, and the letters that I have left over from the stencil I'll probably save for another card. For my card panel that is all Lunar paste, I decided that I will be making an eclipse card, and whenever you raise an image on a card front, or in this case the letters, it will be called an eclipse card. So I'll be stacking and adding dimension to all the love words. This is the first card, and I already put some double-sided tape on the back of this. I'm adding glue in like the smaller areas between the E and then right between the V, and then I'll be gluing it down, and then I'll be using the other O's to kind of place where I need to put the inside of the O, and then I'll use like my tool pick to pop them out because it's not glued down. You just want to be careful not to put too much glue because then you might accidentally glue the letter O down as well. This was a really cool card, and you can tell that everything is cohesive and the stencil flows through the entire card. So you definitely want to make sure that those inner pieces of the O's are kept in order so you don't have to go back and try to figure it out. For my second card, the Love cover plate, I die cut them out of white cardstock twice because I'll be gluing them all together so the love word will be popped up for my eclipse card. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just gluing everything together. It was a little tedious because I have 16 letters to glue together and 3 layers total. So it'll be 2 of the white cardstock and then the Lunar Paste love letters. It was totally worth it because I thought it ended up looking really cool. I really like all the colors. They're super bright, super vibrant, and I really liked how this turned out for that abstract look. And I feel like I can do so many different backgrounds with it because you can use a bunch of background cover plates to cut things out and it'll just look really cool. So I'll just glue my main panel down on a piece of white cardstock and then I will be adding the Lunar Paste love letters onto the white ones that I already had stacked up. And then I'll just be adding it to the card. So for this one, all the pieces will be used for the inside of the O. So you definitely want to make sure that those are kept in order as well, just so it doesn't look weird when you put it all together because it'll look like a cohesive card panel and the letters are just popped up. And I haven't done eclipse cards that often, but every time I do it, I remember how much I love them. Also, the Lunar Pastes are really shiny and I really like them. So I have a few colors that I had gotten at the end of the year. And although I am on a no spend, I definitely will put this on the list for when I am done with my no spend and there's a good sale and I will pick up more, I feel. So yeah, that's it for the 2 cards. They're just super simple and super fun. It's a great use of that cover plate. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys next time with another one. Bye!